announce yourself.
That's ready. Welcome everybody to our City Council regular meeting, December 7th, 2021. The time is 7:02 p.m. Could we please get a roll call? Stand for Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready, begin. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for first responders and military members. Thank you. Could we get roll call, please?
Roll call. Councilmember Soto?
Present.
Councilmember Moran? Councilmember King?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Garcia?
Present.
Mayor Aguilar?
Present.
For the record, Councilmember Moran is not in attendance, but his absence is excused.
For closed session announcements, there's no items or anything to report at this time. Council, any changes to the agenda?
One, I have,
Angelo Gonzalez.
I think that's under the consent calendar. I believe there's item number 11, 12, and 13, and 16. There were additional questions, so we'll be pulling those out. Any other changes? Okay, now we're going to move on to citizen comments. The section agenda allows members of the public to address the City Council on any item not otherwise on the agenda. Members of the public, when recognized by myself, should come forward and identify themselves. Comments are normally limited to 3 minutes in accordance with state open meeting laws. No action will be taken by the City Council this evening. For items which are not on the agenda this evening, members of the public will be provided an opportunity to address the City Council as each item is brought up for discussion. Any citizen comments?
Catherine Shell Rodriguez. Tonight, I want to read a little bit from an article that I found interesting, which is entitled, "What is the Brady List for Police?" What are the Brady List for police officers? These lists contain information about members of law enforcement who are not strictly credible. They were first created due to the results of the Brady v. Maryland Supreme Court case. Prosecutors are responsible for keeping these lists maintained. Information on Brady lists can be requested with a Brady motion in some cases. Brady motions also allow defense lawyers to seek other information from the prosecution. There are a number of other names used to describe Brady lists. You may hear these lists called do not call or no call lists, disclosure lists, exclusionary lists. Put simply, they list members of the law enforcement community who may have issues with their credibility. Any police employee could end up on a Brady list. This includes arresting officers, investigators, witnesses. Individuals are added to these lists for a number of different reasons. Some officers are added because they falsify a report, tamper with evidence, fabricate evidence, lie while testifying in court, attempt to coerce witnesses. An officer's reputation is often pertinent when it comes to criminal charges. Brady v. Maryland did not just result in the creation of Brady lists, it also gave defense lawyers the option to request a Brady hearing. A Brady motion can request any evidence withheld by the prosecution. This includes information about an officer's history of misconduct.
Any other comments?
Good evening. I have some questions because in the past 2 weeks or so, I was on vacation, so I wasn't paying attention what was going on in Livingston. And then I woke up to all these things from the Sun Star and everybody else that now Livingston is under the sheriff. They signed up the thing this morning. I couldn't attend. I have other meetings. So anyway, I have a question for Vanessa because you signed up the contract. Everybody else is irrelevant here. The city of Livingston, a few years ago, agreed to be a sanctuary city for undocumented individuals. Yes or not? You were here, right? No, you weren't here. Okay. So this was agreed, and the council part of you guys were here, others were not. My question is, if Livingston is still a sanctuary city for undocumented individuals, how you guys are going to pick the sheriff department to police Livingston when everybody under the sky and the state of California knows that the sheriff department and the sheriff department leadership, and you can look at it, Google it, whatever you want to do, is 100% in the hunt for undocumented individuals. How this happen? Because we have a lot of undocumented individuals here in our city that we protect, that we support, and they provide to this community. So how are we going to allow the sheriff policies to rule Livingston? I don't understand that part. You were not aware of that? You don't have to ask him, I'm asking you. You signed the contract, he didn't. He didn't. You don't have to, it's a yes or no question.
Please.
I am not talking to you, Juan. I am not talking to you. Vanessa, answer because you signed that contract.
Ma'am, please, let's have some respect here.
What? You guys don't respect us. How you want me to be like that?
Vanessa,
I know the meaning of that. The sheriff department is against any individual that is undocumented. Yes, I'm an immigrant. I'm one of the good ones, or whatever you want to call me. But you guys are on the hunt of individuals that are undocumented. Families here in Livingston that have lived for decades. And you agreed to sign that contract? All of you on that table come from immigrants. One's documented, others undocumented. and you
Thank you.
signed that.
Your time's up, ma'am. Thank
Yes,
you.
I know my time's up,
Yeah,
and I
thank
don't
you.
care. Tell them
Thank
to
you.
arrest me or whatever. I'm an immigrant, so they go to hunt me anyway.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, if I could chime in. It's really not a problem because it's a contract for service and the sheriff has to conduct himself in accordance with our policies when in the city. So it's really not a problem or an issue.
Thank you.
You want to add anything else?
Mayor, council members, I wanted to add that the contract for services with the Merced Sheriff's Office, it will be, the interim chief will be observing the city policies for our police department.
And just to add real quick, this is for a leadership administrative position. It's not that they're policing our city. We have our own police department. Thank you. Sheriff?
Wow. We do not have a policy, regardless of what that young lady just said, of going after anybody. We have never gone after anybody. If they end up in my jail and they're there for a serious crime, we deal with it. But I have never gone after, that's never been an issue, and the record shows that. So anyway, following that lead, we are here to help. I am the elected law enforcement constitutional authority in this county. And we are here to make sure that the citizens have a continual flow of law enforcement services. You have to have somebody in leadership. You have to have a chief or a sheriff to keep a department running. We're here only as long as it takes this council to get that done. Okay? We have no interest. I made this very clear in the city of Atwater years ago when they swore I was in there to take that over. Folks, I've got enough on my plate. I don't need to worry about your city. That's your job. Okay? But I am the law enforcement authority in this county, and that goes over every single police chief and every jurisdiction that holds there. The folks in this city have an opportunity to vote for sheriff, so that puts my responsibility square into their laps. And that lady here was either completely or totally misinformed, but that information she just spewed out was not the truth nor accurate in any way. Like I said, we've had people in our jail that have committed homicides that we've dealt with. The folks that are wandering around and taking care of business, I don't care, just flat out don't care. If they're here taking, so on. So just to rest assured that we are here to help. We're going to be dealing, Lieutenant Hale will be dealing directly with the city manager. Your job is to support the city manager and guaranteeing that the resources are here for your officers to take care of business. We are here to make sure that your policies and that your guidance that has been previously done is upheld, but I will not play politics with the citizens in this city. Your job is to guarantee that they're safe. His job is to guarantee that that police department's running. That's not your job, okay? He works for me. He's got the sheriff's uniform on, and with that comes every bit of resources available. If something major were to happen in this city, it's not a question of anything. It's just going to be taken care of. So rest assured, we're here to help. We got no interest in anything other than waiting until you folks can go through the process of hiring a chief. That's what we're here for, is to make sure that you guys get that part done. Then we'll go back to where we were. Do you have any questions for me? That's Under Sheriff Gibson in the back. He's number 2 in charge at the sheriff's office. So any questions by any of the council members? I was kind of hoping he would be here so I could look him in the eyes and ask him what he was referring to on some of his tweets, but I'll deal with him later. Okay? So I appreciate this. Vanessa, anything you need, you contact Lieutenant Hale. He is your chief. And the city, you guys keep going. He is a good man, and he will keep the things going. That's very important for this city. I'm not here to change any of that. We're just guaranteeing that you're going to have a good flow for law enforcement. Okay? I'm hoping that takes care of that.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Any
Appreciate it.
questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Corey Gibson. I am the Undersheriff of the county. I just want to take this opportunity to introduce myself for those that don't know me. as the sheriff said, we're glad to assist the city during this time of transition, but we have no intentions of taking over the police department. We're simply here to provide a service to the citizens and the community during this time of need. We've done this in the past for the city of Dos Palos, city of Gustine, most notably probably go back 20 years to the city of Livingston. And at that point, Chief Eldridge actually came from the sheriff's office before he had a long tenure here with the city. With that being said, the sheriff's office, we will ensure that there is transparency, that there is the ability for the police department to respond to the community and to the city council. If there's ever anything that you guys need, by all means, reach out to me, the sheriff, and Chief Hale. And most notably, we have one rule at the sheriff's office that's always left at administrative meetings, and that's do the right thing. And in this situation, we are doing the right thing. We're stepping up for the community. This doesn't come without sacrifice to the sheriff's office. We are without a lieutenant, without a facility manager during this time, and we're willing to take on that added burden to ensure that you guys find the right leader for your police department as you guys move forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Hola, buenas noches. Sí, yo tengo una pregunta, ¿verdad? Sé que varios de los concejales, el city manager también entiende español y ojalá, el caso es que me entienden, ¿verdad? Lo que voy a decir. Yo miré aquí en Facebook, ¿verdad? Y quiero ver si ustedes también me corrigen para ver si no es mentira lo que dice acá, ¿verdad? Que dice que un sheriff gana 125 por hora. En las 40 horas que hace por semana, gana casi a la semana como $5,000. Si los $5,000 divididos multiplicado por las 4 semanas, sería $20,000 al mes. Si los 20,000 los multiplicamos por los 12 meses, sería casi al año 241,000. ¿Eso es lo que va a ganar el sheriff de aquí de Livingston? Es mi pregunta. Ojalá que alguien me pueda contestar.
Mayor, council members, she's saying that according to a Facebook post, there is a calculation that it's posted that a sheriff would be making about $241,000 a year. And her question is if that is how much the sheriff will be making from out of the city of Livingston. And that is, I want to share with you that is the contract amount that the county has ratified. Merced County has ratified for contracted services. That is including salaries, benefits, and the full loaded cost of a person to be here to provide interim chief of police services, which is very comparable to the dollar amount that we would be paying to our current to the current position. When we are looking at salaries, it is more than just wages, and it incorporates benefits, it incorporates retirement, it has federal taxes, workers' compensation, and an array of different benefits that come along with the position. So once you compute all of those costs into a person, the cost is very much comparable to what we would be paying.
Thank you, Vanessa. Any other comments? Okay, we're going to move on to announcements and reports. City staff announcements and reports.
I'm on teleconference.
Mayor, if
Oh, I think I hear somebody talking.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Barely. Hold on. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, council. My comment is for Juan. Hi, Juan. I actually voted for you. This was my first vote in an election. I had a lot of, I guess, faith, you can say. I thought, you were really going to make a change to this community. And one of the biggest issues, I don't know, you probably don't remember talking to me, but what we talked about was like how bad the water was in our community and how many people like inadvertently got sick from it. And you said that you were going to like do your best to fix it. So I'm just like concerned that all of a sudden, like, you know, the city has so much money to put people on administrative leave, to pay for potential lawsuits, to pay up to $240,000 for a sheriff, but where is the money when it comes to fixing our city's water? And that's a really big concern that I have is like, what are the intentions of this council when it comes to the betterment for everyone, not just themselves? And on Facebook especially, like I see certain council members just commenting like so much hateful things that comes from both sides. But I think that,
Gosh, I can't hear her.
Soto, I'm talking to you, that we just sometimes need to be like examples and not post things just to like, you know, cause fights between people. So I definitely hope that as a council, we try to think about the community as a whole, not just like this recall election. I know that's a big thing like looming right now, but one, I really think that we need to start like thinking about the water in the city. Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay, we had a very hard time hearing you. I know your questions were regarding, I think, water quality and I guess people on administrative leave and how are we paying for all of that. So what I could say is definitely for water in our city is very important, and the quality that our community deserves. You know, that's a priority for the city and always been for a long time, not only for myself but other councils. We are working towards that and improving our water quality. In regards to how we have money to pay for different positions or administrative leave, you know, that's something that, you know, we're working towards and trying to navigate that situation to, you know, continue on the services, essential service for the city, whatever it takes. I would like to, like I said, I've always said it, I'm open to sit down with anybody, answer any questions at any time. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on Facebook, a lot of, you know, conspiracy theories and questions, but I mean, anytime. I just had actually somebody today reach out to me and we were having an appointment to sit down. To be honest, I know I have a great support in the community, but those people questioning what we're doing up here have never taken the time to sit down with me and actually ask questions, including people in this room. So at any time you could reach out, sit down with me. I would never deny anybody that opportunity, and I'll be happy to meet with you or any member of the council you want to meet with and sit down and talk about those priorities you're talking about and probably better explain the situation and with more time than what we have here now. So feel free to reach out to me at any time, okay? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to City Council announcements and reports. Vanessa.
Yes, Mayor, council members. I wanted to take a moment. We have some city staff announcements. We have a presentation for you, but before we do that, I wanted to formally introduce to the council and to our community our Lieutenant Chuck Hale from Merced County Sheriff's Office. He is serving as our interim chief of police at the moment. He comes with the county with many years of service and experience, and I am very thankful that he is here with us. From the short time that he's been with us, he is fully hands-on, and we are just doing he's doing what he knows how to do best, which is protect and serve our community. Thank you.
Are you okay with stepping to the microphone? Just for the record, thank you.
Just to reiterate what the sheriff and the undersheriff said, I'm so glad that we have the ability to help the city through this time. Again, we're just here to help until this city finds their next chief of police. A lot's been said about the contract that the city has with the county. I think it's important to make clear to everyone that there is a maximum dollar amount on that contract. That doesn't mean that's what the city is going to pay. The county is only going to get paid for the hours that I am here in Livingston. I still have other responsibilities at the sheriff's office, and when I'm there, those go onto a separate time card, if that makes sense. For instance, this last Friday, I was only in the city for 4 hours. That's all the city's paying for on that Friday. Thank you, and again, transparency is what we're about. The police department's open. If somebody has an issue, they want to come by and talk to me, by all means, love to sit down and chat with you. We'll do whatever we can for you. Thank you.
Thank you. With that said, welcome to the city of Livingston on behalf of the council and myself and our city manager. We want to also thank the sheriff's department for helping us out in this time of need. I know there's a lot, like you said, a lot of things being said out there, but ultimately our goal as a city is to, replace or come up with a chief that's going to work for our city. They're going to continue services for our city, and we are thankful that you guys came and helped us out. And I think it'll be a great relationship, and it's all about community, helping each other out. I know you guys done it in other jurisdictions, and we appreciate it. But our goal is to get that position in as soon as possible. I know we're already working on hiring a chief or beginning the process to do that. Definitely that's one of our priorities. So welcome and thank you for everything. I don't know if the council wants to say, any other member of the council wants to say anything else. You guys good? Okay. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Thank you. And the next item, it is our Centennial presentation with our Recreation Superintendent, Jackie.
Good evening, everyone. I'm hoping this presentation will excite everybody as much as it has all of us that are a part of the Centennial Committee as we are closing in on our 100 years of being a city. So I'm going to first let you, not a lot of them are here tonight. There may be some over the phone. I did pass the phone number around. But these are the residents that are helping us put together our Centennial celebration. And it goes from individuals, several family members are helping us. We have the Rec Commission, of course, that is pitching in to help. But a great blessing to us is the University California Merced, some of their faculty and students. And actually, we have, how many of ours? We have Russ Winton, and we have Babs, Gabe, we have Stella, Lexi, and Lexi. So anyway, they're here to just introduce themselves to you. So I wanted to let you know what we have done so far that's super exciting. So, we have the Livingston Chronicle was started in 1910. So we are having the Chronicle digitized from 1910 all the way up until the late 60s. So you're going to be able to go in and put Juan Aguilar, and every time you show up in an article, that's going to populate on the website. So, it's really exciting because the Historical Society actually went into a contract with UC Merced, and they paid about $3,800, and they found more reels to make our to be able to digitize more years, and so the librarian was able to talk with staff, and they come up with a grant to pay another $3,800 to give to us in order to get the most of our Chronicle digitized. So we did get a recent update, and it looks like probably the second quarter of 2022 we'll be able to have that up online for people to start checking it out. So we have talked with both school districts, and they have agreed to do Livingston history the week of our birthday, which is September 11th, 2022. Curriculum is now being developed, and each student will get a commemorative book of Livingston history as a keepsake. And we're looking to put in that book, like they can write down, you know, a picture of themselves and how old was I when we had the 100, something that they will have as a keepsake and be able to pass along in their family. There is a UC Merced grad student that is assisting with this project, and a history professor, and then of course both representatives from both school districts. So we're also going to put downtown banners that look like this, and there's 19 street poles, and we have 19 old buildings that we will be featuring that may or may not, well, most of them are not here any longer, but not only will, like for instance, the Court Theater, which was across the street, it'll have the date that it was built and as long as it was running, and then it'll have the address so that people passing by can go to those addresses to see where original sites were. We're also putting together a mobile exhibit for the schools. We have got 12 different exhibits that will go. Actually, it was really exciting because I talked with Superintendent Zamora of the LUSD, and instead of us actually taking it to each of the school libraries, he's giving us the community center to set it up, and they're going to bring field trips to the community center for all the kids to see it, and then we'll be open in the evening so the kids can bring their parents back and hopefully enjoy the exhibit also. We're also looking at hiring 2 actors that will play Elizabeth Oles and Edward Oles, and we'll have staged questions that the kids can ask these actors, and they'll respond to the questions that the kids ask. So part of the project, if you guys drove past the Courtyard Plaza 2 Saturdays ago, you'll notice that we had tables and canopies out there. Well, the university received a grant. It's called the Gateway, and they've called it the project the Gateway to Merced, and they are doing oral histories on a lot of the small towns in Merced County. So we had 35 families that participated, and these are families that have been here for at least 4 generations. Matter of fact, Babs and Russ, both of their families were out there. And so they asked the people questions like how they have seen change and when did their families come here and things like this, so that we can have history from like the 50s forward, because we have lots of it from the 40s back to day one, but we really don't have a lot of stuff that's been compiled for today. So we're working on that so that Livingston continues to have all of their history in order. So one of the things too that we're doing for the Centennial is a pet parade. Those of you that came out and saw our trial run in October, and it was huge. We plan on doing that again. They used to do it in the 50s, and so we're bringing it back. We are going to be putting a photo spot at the museum, and that's of course just a drawing, but the high school woodshop class will be building a big 100 with a banner and our seal, and then families can come by and take a picture in front of that. It'll be about 6 foot tall, and they'll have the museum, so it will be a keepsake for every family. Another project that will be taking place during 2022 is we're working with the Merced County GIS department, and we will be making an interactive map of Livingston where they can click on like the Idaho, and it'll show what's there today. Or they can go the reverse way, and then it'll just have a little bit of history about each of the buildings and what its significance was here in Livingston. So we would also like to place a Centennial seal on the museum celebrating our 100 years, and I don't have one, but you can kind of just see the gold dot there representing what we're going to do. So one of the other things that we would like to do is have another larger-than-life cutout made of our city founders. And we'd actually like to place this probably in the courtyard plaza right next to the museum. And as you guys go through our Centennial programs with us, you'll find out more about these two folks. So during our Sweet Potato Festival next year, we plan on doing a homecoming. We actually have been in contact too with the Livingston LHS All Alumni to see about them hosting their reunion there at the park in the midst of all of these good things. And then we would love to have a small fireworks show in celebration of our 100th birthday. So another activity that we want to do is when LHS has their football homecoming, we want to have a float in their homecoming honoring our city's king and queen, and we want to elect our oldest woman and man that has been here the longest resident to be our Centennial king and queen. And the school's all excited about us being a part of that too. So one of the things too that that I had purchased a while ago is a little radio, and I don't know how to explain it because I'm not that techie, but what it does is we put the signal or a signal up like on top of the fire station, and once a week or they can tune in on their FM radio or AM. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And we can do like old council meetings, or we could do. We actually have videos and of people back in the 80s that answered questions that are probably no longer with us about the city. So we also can do classic old radio shows. Just, I mean, kids, they probably have no idea what it would be like to, you know, listen to these old radio shows on the radio. So that'll be a lot of fun. So one of the other things that we'd like to do is encourage our community to volunteer 100 hours of service during our 100-year celebration. And so we would give those that sign up and actually participate, because we can get all kinds of little things done around the city to just, you know, polish us off, is a pin of their 100 hours of service. We will be recruiting for the Historical Society during this time. Every event will be putting information out there about how you can get involved in supporting our Historical Society or being a part of it. We also want to have t-shirts for the committee and for the community. And so, of course, we can't do an event without a t-shirt. We'd like to have souvenirs, you know, like the police department has the challenge coins. We're designing one that says for our 100-year celebration. And then we could have other things. We do have banks already, and I was going to bring one. I'm sorry, I left it on my desk. Or fridge magnets, little calendars, pencils, pens, those kinds of things. And there they are. Water bottles, banks, anything that will remind them this is our 100-year birthday. So we also are working with the museum and talking about a display for the 100 years, and that isn't all settled, but dedicating an area when people go in to kind of see a timeline of the 100 years. So one of the really fun things too that we're going to do is there's always been a rivalry between Atwater and Livingston, and we would like to have a hometown baseball game where we get everybody from the community to come out and watch our varsity team play. And in that, I would love to see us, for the kids that have played and to mark their, you know, have a souvenir of this game, is to find some retro jerseys that we could purchase for them from like the 40s or, you know, that look. And I'm sure Matt would just love that. So we have a goal, our Christmas Court of Trees, 100 trees for the 100 years. And so I want everybody to mark your calendar now. And we had 52 this year, so if we double it and we really get busy and try to get businesses in all the schools, and you know, we should be able to spill over almost to the church parking lot and then all in front of City Hall and down the Grassway. So it'll be gorgeous. So our parade, it'll be the Centennial Christmas Parade next year. It'll be 100 Christmas celebrations, and we hope to have 100 floats. We have over 40 this year. It's the biggest that we've ever had. So we're getting more, by us not having it the first Friday, we're getting more groups like from the county. As a matter of fact, the Sheriff's Department's gonna have an exhibit. And so it's just gonna be wonderful. And last, to end the year off, I've already talked with both of our school band instructors, and we want to have a combined concert with both schools at the high school for Christmas, and then we will have a 300-voice Centennial Christmas Children's Choir that will perform at the Sweet Potato Festival as well as at this Christmas concert. I mean, it's going to be a year no one ever forgets. So anyway, with that will end the presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
Council, you guys have any questions, comments? Maria?
So I do have a remark. As you know, last year I was gone for 6 months due to health reasons. And before I left, I thought that I had $50,000 towards the Centennial. And come to find out, when I started to spend about a month ago, I didn't have that money anymore because of shortfalls. So I am asking the council if you would please reconsider trying to give me that money back. And I did actually make a budget so that you could kind of see if we want to do all the wonderful things, it does cost. And because we couldn't do the fundraising that I was hoping because I was gone, we really, really need your support and help. So I do want to give this to you just so that you have it and can look it over, because somebody might even know of donations or someplace where we can get it cheaper than what I have it on my form. So anyway, I'm super excited. We got a lot of good things coming down the pipes, and we got a bunch of dedicated community members who are rolling up their sleeves to help us out. So we are very proud to be able to go into 2022. So.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for all your presentation. That's super exciting. One of the things I'd like to bring back, and I just remember it, that noontime, and I know this would probably be a job for Public Works, is that in Memorial Park, there is a sounding, an alarm that would go off at noon. And that would be something different that our kids never heard. I don't know when it went away. I don't remember when it went away.
I think the thing is still up there.
It is.
I think it is.
And it just needs to be rewired, I believe, to bring that back, because that's what I grew up with. And I don't remember when it was disconnected, but every noon hour it went off.
Yeah, fun.
I think it was a fire alarm too. I think fire used it too. at one
Emergency
point.
signal.
Yeah. Awesome. Any other comments, council? Questions?
We have the parade this Friday.
Yeah,
And so we're excited to see everybody come out.
excellent. On behalf of myself, thank you everybody for, partaking in our 100-year celebration. All the community members and volunteers. It's gonna be awesome just going through all the events and celebrating our city. Do the members of the committee want to introduce themselves or just say, have any comments? Jackie, you want to introduce the current members? The current members that are present, you want to introduce them? The members of the committee?
Alexi Gonzalez, can you stand up? And Gabriel Salazar, Russell Winton, Arjun Official, and we have Barlow Jackson, who is our Grand Marshal for the parade here in the town this year.
You had a comment? Yeah, go ahead.
nobody says their name, but my name's Babs Ratzliff, and I've been here 100 years. But I would like to commend Jackie and Tony in the Recreation Department. They've just done an outstanding job, and it's been so much fun working with them. And believe me, Jackie knows everything about Livingston way back when that I can hardly remember because I've been here for a long time. But I'd just like to thank you for your hard work, and we'll just keep doing it, and we'll have a great time next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I agree, Jackie, good job. All the planning, all the different ideas. We appreciate all the work, definitely. Tony as well. Vanessa, go ahead, Gabriel.
Good evening, City Council. I just want to say thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Parks and Recreation Department, members of the Centennial Committee. As you can see, there's a lot of history in this town, and a lot of us here are here because we love and appreciate what this town means to us. Some have been here for multiple generations. Some have been here one generation. It doesn't matter whether you're immigrant, been here for 3-4 generations. We all have an appreciation and affinity to this town for what it means to us. My parents came here about 50 years ago, immigrants. My dad worked the fields, grapevines, worked at the onion plant. My mom worked at Foster Farms for about 40 years. So whether you're here 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, we all have this special appreciation for this town and what it means to us. So along those lines, I hope that you guys share that commitment and that love and that appreciation to this town, and that you're transparent and honest and work for the community and not for your self-interest. So I just hope you kind of keep that message in line with the 100 years coming into for our city. And yeah, I hope that you also comply, or not comply, but that you respect Jackie's request. I mean, she's done a lot of hard work along with the Park Recreation Commission. I know, Juan, you've been a member, participated here and whatnot. So I hope that she has enough resources and funds to continue to see this great program that's going to be rolling out next year. So thank you, and hope you consider that. So thank you.
Thank you. No, I think, I mean, all of us have, we're very disappointed when we found out from staff that we couldn't have the full amount for the Centennial. But I think we were able to, we'll discuss with Vanessa, and I'm sure she'll be able to make a recommendation. Ultimately, the finance department and staff are the ones that really give us a recommendation. And if that's a possibility, I think we will all be in support. In regards to your comment of transparency, of course, I think that's something that we all thrive towards, as long as it doesn't intervene or interact with breaking the law and releasing information we're not supposed to. But we're here for the community. I mean, I think we've proven, most of us, that for as long as I've been an adult, I've been involved in the community in one way or another. And Jackie, you know that. So we're very excited for the Centennial celebration, definitely. Vanessa?
Yeah, Mayor, I just wanted to add that we will be reviewing the request with the department and bring a recommendation to council.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And just remember, too, it's not just all about the money, but if anybody knows of good deals or donations or, any of that, we're so open.
Perfect. Thank you. Vanessa, any other staff presentations?
Those are all my staff presentations today.
Thank you. City manager announcements and reports.
I have a few announcements, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
I just wanted to share with everyone that we have a couple of projects that we've been working on. Some of them are street projects and slurry seal projects, and those, due to the weather, they have come to a halt. So I just wanted to share that with our community and with council. So we are looking at bringing back our slurry seal projects back in the spring of 2022, and we're doing some other projects for line striping and just refreshing some of the markings in and around the city and for that, our Public Works Department, it's just waiting for some good weather to cooperate. We have our sewer line replacement project that it is it is about 80% complete. So we are looking at a completion date now of February 2022. Our Public Works Department is also working on solar projects for the Police Department, Gallo Park, Joseph Gallo Park, and Max Foster Sports Complex. And the work should get started sometime within the next 2 weeks. Also, a quick report on Self-Help, which is the agency that administers the grants for CDBG, which is providing assistance to those residents in our community that have fallen behind due to the hardship of the pandemic on their utility payments and rental payments. And they continue to increase the number of applications that they are receiving. So we are seeing more of an increase in participation from our residents. The last time we reported, or I received a report, we had about 11 applicants through the pipeline. Now we are at 41 with 25 applications approved and completed, which means that this is 25 applicants that have received some sort of relief on their utility payments. This also, it's not just utility payments, it also covers rental assistance. So we're seeing an increase. And on the same token, we have our businesses. We also have the grant that deals with the businesses. And we are looking at now one application for businesses. So that's really good news. Also, last but not least, last Friday, the San Joaquin Railroad Commission approved the Ceres Merced extension, which includes a stop in the city of Livingston. So I just wanted to acknowledge that this is definitely a multi-year effort that has been many years in the making. We are looking at this decision with a lot of excitement, and also that the work will start now for us to make this a successful project.
Thank you, Vanessa. Council, any questions for Vanessa?
Mr. Mayor, may I ask a question on the project you mentioned?
Are you okay? Yes, go ahead. Could you please come to the microphone?
Ms. Portillo on Main Street, on F Street, where I think that's the sewer line they're putting in. Are they going to even it out? Because it's really bad now.
Yes, thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
our Public Works, that is part of the completion of the project. So by in February, when the project is estimated to be completed, it should be back to normal. Yeah. Perfect.
Council, any questions for Vanessa? Anybody else questions? I know that was some concern. Go ahead, Gabriel. Just real quick, and by the time we get there, I know that was a concern that some of the streets still have the little lines going, and I know there's another step to that where it seals it completely and smoothing the road out. And I know there's several streets like that, but unfortunately, due to the weather, we also had the same problem with repainting the stripes and the stop and all that. I know that was something we all were hoping for, but the weather kind of delayed situations. We have to wait for the spring because some are heat censored, and we have to wait until the weather gets better. But just hang on tight. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Thank you, Juan. Gabriel Salazar. Ms. Portillo shared that, I guess, the San Joaquin County or Merced County, I just wanted to, I guess, if she could elaborate on whether that's the ACE stop and what the implications are of that project, what's the time frame, what else is supposed to happen in the area, where is it located, those kinds of things. So that's all.
Thank you, Mayor. Everything is preliminary. So far, this is the ACE train stop for that puts ACE stop in Livingston, and we are going through the process of looking at the project timeline. I believe that the last report, they expressed that they would like to have this through 2030. So and give and take, there's some timeframes where the project may be delayed or not. So we want to make sure that we start looking and preparing the city. So when the time comes for that project to be at full speed, we are ready.
Absolutely, and yeah, it is a strain, what she was referring to earlier. I know they were recently pushed it back some more time, so it'll be delayed a bit, but it's definitely beneficial to our city, of course, as we all know, to have a stop in our city, and yeah, there's a lot of working details, and what I would want and what we talked about is to have an actual presentation of kind of some of those details, and so the community can be familiar with kind of what the process might look like, and what to look forward and what we're working on to make that a reality. So that was one of the initial steps. I know the environmental impact report, that was what the recommendation was for a stop here. There was two options, Livingston or Atwater, and I know they went with a recommendation, which was a stop in Livingston. So hopefully maybe in the next meeting or in 2 meetings, we could have some kind of presentation and make that happen.
Thank you, Juan. Quick follow-up. So do we know the potential location of this, or we just know Livingston was selected and we don't know where in the city that location may be?
So it's supposed to be behind the Liberty, where the A.V. Thomas property's at. So, we'll definitely confirm and work out those details and all that. So a lot to follow up, for sure.
Great, thank you.
And just to follow up with a comment, we do appreciate everybody that advocated for that project here in the city. It's been years in the making. A lot of people participated, made comments, reached out, and did a lot of work to make that happen. The council, I know, reached out to the board. I myself had several meetings with those board members and advocated and touched bases. So. To make that happen. So we do appreciate them. That was a recommendation, and they went with it and didn't play politics or anything like that. So we do appreciate that. Let's move on to City Council member announcements and reports. Councilmember Kane. Councilmember Soto. Anything to report? Mayor Pro Tem Garcia.
Yes, good afternoon, or good evening. So me and the mayor attended, or we met up with Veteran Services in Merced County on Thursday, this past Thursday. Obviously, you guys know I'm an advocate of bringing Veteran Services here to Livingston due to some veterans not being able to go to the city of Merced to file claims or to talk to somebody about their existing claim. So we brought up some great ideas. He's Veterans Officer Gill, he's new to the area. He retired out of the Coast Guard. I think it was 24 years. So we have a high turnaround at the Veterans Office with keeping members there. So hopefully he's there for a little while. I think we've had 3 in the last 4 or 5 years. So, but like I said, we brought up some good ideas. He's gonna hopefully come next year sometime early to put on a presentation. He also gave me some COVID kits that the city has. So any veterans or their families that need one, just go down to the city hall, talk to Vanessa, the city manager. There's a form we just have to fill out, how much we give out, and your area code that you have to leave is just for tracking purposes. And they look something like this, a little box. So if you need one, they'll be there at City Hall. So just go in there and pick it up. So we also talked about a representative from each city in the county to make up a council there with the Veteran Services to bring ideas from other parts of the county. So he's also going to bring that up his chain of command. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. That's it. Thank you.
Mayor, if I'm sorry. I don't know where my mind was. There will be a veterans dinner this Saturday. It's the VFW Veterans Dinner at the VFW Hall on Saturday, starting at 6. And we also have some of these kits available. I know Dennis will be here in town at the hall he does have a case also for citizen, or people in the community that would like a home kit. And then the downtown flags, Vanessa, were they going to go back up?
I believe they were taken out at direction of Mr. Dennis.
You might want to clarify that with him because I spoke with him the other day.
Okay.
And he didn't decide that. They are meant to be flown. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In regards to myself, announcement reports, like our Mayor Pro Tem Garcia stated, we attended that meeting with the Veterans Office in Merced, or the county office. Definitely a productive meeting. Definitely talked about different ideas, having him come into our city and give us, the council, a presentation in regards to what services they provide. Also attending some of our youth community events in general for providing a booth where, you know, people could access or ask questions. The council, or commission, we talked about establishing a commission for, you know, for their services and recommendations, so he thought it was a good idea. And we do think that he provided 2 cases of the COVID testing, which we gave one to Mr. Willis, I think, to distribute, and we kept one for City Hall. So we appreciate that. We attended also with Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, the Big 5 meeting, just to represent, take notes for our staff. And then, obviously, I spoke a little bit about the ACE train. That's very exciting and a great opportunity for the city. That's all I have for now. We're going to go ahead and move on to our consent agenda. Items on the consent calendar are considered routine or non-controversial and will be enacted by one vote unless separate action is requested by the city manager or city council member. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the city council or city manager request that specific items be removed. I know there were already some items requested for, or additional questions, some of these items. So I'm just going to go through them. It's from our council member, Jose Moran. So the first one, item 11, it says correct typo on front page. Item is for Management and Confidential Employees Association. In the background section, it refers to the unit as Livingston Clerical Employees Association. So we can note that, fix that typo. Item number 12, correct typos on front page, same as item 11. Item 13, correct typos on front page, same as item 11. And then there's a question in regards to item 16, agreement with Johnson Controls Fire Protection. On the second page of Johnson Controls quotation or quote, under detailed scope, bullet point number 5, it says fire watch to be provided by others. Please be advised the fire system inoperable during demo and installation startup. Plan for fire watch accordingly. The question is, what does that mean? While the project is being worked on, how, or what is the plan for the fire watch while, according to the quotation, installation and startup will be for 7 calendar days.
Mayor, council members, for item 11 through 13, the typo that it is being highlighted, it's on the staff report. The resolution and the MOU language, it convenes to each one of the pertaining bargaining groups. And just to be clear, this typo is in the background section of the staff report where items 11, 12, and 13 refer to the Livingston Clerical Employees Association, and in item 11, it's referring to the Management and Confidential. Item number 12, it's for the Livingston Police Officers Association, and number 13, it's for the Livingston Supervisory Employees Association. So the resolution and the MOU draft pertain to each one of the units that they should correspond.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Item number 16, Chief Hill has a little bit more information to clarify the
Perfect, thank you.
request.
Hello again. The simple answer to the question that was posed about bullet point number 5, when the fire panel that's currently in there is taken out and before they get the new one installed, the sprinkler system will still work, but there won't be an alarm. And what they're saying is it's going to be our responsibility during that transition of the fire panels to provide a fire watch. What a fire watch is exactly like what it says. It's there, somebody in the building to call for help if there is a fire, because there's not going to be an alarm. And of course, it's in dispatch, so that building is occupied 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's always somebody there.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate it. All right, I think any other,
Chief, sorry. We'll bring up more questions on this, right? while it's here?
yeah, go ahead.
I had a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Under all the exclusions, it says all the pre-existing conditions. And then when you get to the, it's not under a bullet, but it's on the page, it says California State Marshal State Information Bulletin. And it gives all the, and it just, the language was hard for me to understand. It says it's not intended to retroactively require a complete fire system in the existing building.
What page is that on, ma'am?
It doesn't have a page number. It's the third page. No, the fourth page.
Okay, I see it now. California State Fire Marshal Information Bulletin.
Yes.
So basically what that means is, so there's no need to get the state fire marshal in there because they were already replacing an existing fire control panel. So if we didn't have a fire control panel and we were putting in new, this was the first one that we would have, and there, obviously we would have to involve the state fire marshal.
Oh, okay, now I get it. I just read it under the exclusion parts, and it seemed to contradict, but when you say it excludes the fire marshal.
Yeah.
No need for him to, okay. got
Because
it.
we already have one there.
Okay. And then authority having jurisdiction, who is that, you guys?
The authority having,
Right here it says the final acceptance test with local AHJ. Authority having jurisdiction. It's the final bullet point under the detailed scope.
final acceptance test with local, I'm assuming whatever AHJ is the authority that would be doing the final inspection, saying it meets code. I don't know what AHJ is.
Neither do I.
Somebody's going to have to come in and approve the work that Johnson Controls has done and say, yes, that meets the fire code.
That was my question. Who is that person?
I don't know.
Councilmember Soto and Mayor, normally this is done by our building inspector. So whenever, like we do any work around the city, our building inspector would normally come and do the final check and walk through that it meets any kind of like the compliance items that they would need to check in order to let us occupy the building.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, any motions for the consent calendar?
I've got a question.
Go ahead. Any questions from the public?
Okay, if you go to your packet about the memorandum of understanding with the clerical, and you go to page 5 under wage increases, underneath where it says employees shall receive base salary increases as follows, and you go below the 3% base salary, and you go to the part saying American Rescue Plan funds. And I'll just read the full paragraph and then follow up with my question. City shall issue each eligible member of the clerical unit a one-time stipend of $2,000 on the first pay period of December 2021 as allowed per ARP guidelines for hazard pay during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the event any other represented units receive a higher stipend amount, the clerical unit will be eligible to receive the highest ARP stipend benefit. Now, as I'm going through the packets and I look at the other bargaining units, they're getting $6,000 ARP fund stipends. The way this paragraph is written, does that mean because the other bargaining units are getting a $6,000 stipend, that the clerical will get a $6,000 stipend as well?
That is correct. The bargaining group negotiated a Me Too clause, and that is what the clause reads, and it was negotiated and agreed to.
Thank you, Vanessa. Any other questions? Okay, council, any motions?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilmember Soto. Monica?
Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you, Monica. Next, we have a public hearing, item number 18. Site plan and design review 2021-02 to construct 3 new housing units on 2 adjacent lots at 835 6th Street. Who has this item?
Mayor, council members, thank you. We have a public hearing, and this is my time to introduce our planner, John Anderson. He'll be a regular with us now, and I'm very happy and excited to work with him.
Awesome. Thank you for introducing him. We heard nothing but great things about you and that you're getting right on and getting stuff done. So welcome to the city of Livingston. We're excited to be working with you.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. John Anderson, contract planner with the city of Livingston. This is my second tour with the city of Livingston. I'm looking forward to working with you and your staff. Your staff has been very accepting to me. I've spent a lot of work getting things in order. There are things that we're going to need to work on in the future, but we'll work collectively towards those. I have a very tight budget. Vanessa has me under. Of course, we're working on some very special projects, including the general plan update whenever that restarts, whenever it's appropriate to restart that process. So tonight's public hearing is an item that Randy Hatch, that Randy Hatch has been working on for a while. We didn't see a need to delay this item any further, so we're presenting it to your council tonight. It's a simple site plan design review. There's 2 parts of it. There was a lot line adjustment as well as a site plan review. Lot line adjustment is already acted upon by the planning commission. The action that the council was being asked to review and take tonight has everything to do with site plan and design review as presented. There's a staff report. It's about a 3-page staff report. There are attachments. There's a draft resolution as part of. There's a draft resolution. Whoa, there we go. Draft resolution that's part of your package as well. And there's some architectural details that are part of the project, and then also some conditions of approval, which are fairly standard. I've got a PowerPoint that I'll walk through for you tonight. This is a public hearing item. the applicant or the applicant's representative will have an opportunity to speak as well. Again, it's a site plan design review, applications 2021-02. The property in question is at 8356 6th Street. The APNs or assessors parcel numbers are referenced, property zoned R2, which is medium density residential. The proposal is to construct 3 new housing units on these 2 parcels. One would be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The other would be 2 smaller units consisting of 2 bedrooms and 1 bath, each at about 662 square feet. The property is located as indicated on the map and also part of your package on 6th Street. This map illustrates exactly where the property is located in relationship to the balance of the city. This is a copy of the assessor's map and identifies the 2 properties in yellow that are part of this application. This map illustrates by red line what the new property line is going to be to respect the setback obligations for the new homes to be constructed, as well as the existing home that is on the parcel to the right. So you'll see highlights of the new homes to be built, homes in front along 6th Street and the 2 homes in the back off the alley. This is a copy of the floor plan for one of the homes to be built. This is another similar floor plan for another one of the units within the project. They're could be constructed of stucco. The color scheme that was selected was a sage gray color with accent of medium brown trim. And then this is just another elevation style. So all three new homes would be of the similar style, similar color scheme. So after having said that, the Planning Commission at their hearing on September 28th of this year recommended that your City Council take action to approve the site plan and development application by a 4-0 vote. They recommended specific conditions which are part of the resolution presented to you in draft form. Those are attachment Exhibit A, and in that attachment Exhibit A is a list of 22 conditions, which are normal types of conditions that are imposed by the city engineer, and those are part of the administrative record illustrated as Exhibit B to the suggested draft resolution. This property or project, like all other projects, will be asked to annex to the CFD District 2017-1, and that'll happen prior to the issuance of certificate of occupancy for either one of the parcels that are part of this application package. After having said that, are there any questions or comments that you have of me? And again, this is a public hearing, and we'll be going through that process tonight.
Council, any initial questions? No? None?
Thank you.
Okay, at this moment, I'm going to go ahead and open it to the public for the public hearing. Any questions, comments regarding this project? We have the developer here, might want to say anything towards regarding this project at this time? Any comments? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, Council. I know this is just a couple homes that we're putting in. My job is a technical research agronomist, and what I do is I study plants and agriculture and help growers make decisions to grow plants better. And we're having a hard time with water. Not only is it not available, but the water that is available is difficult. We have to apply more water to the tree than the tree needs in order to leach salts. And how that pertains to this tonight is, I would tell you, as you're drinking water there, that's one of the issues that I'm having. We are paying for city water that's nearly undrinkable. I bring water from home with me on the road because my job is to drive. I drive thousands of miles a year all over the state of California. And you can drive through communities on the west side that agriculture is just, it's going away. The farmland is It's barren, it's growing weeds, and it's also growing solar panels. And I would encourage you, as we continue to add homes to this town, that I would implore you from the bottom of my heart for our kids and our grandkids, it's necessary, essential that we take care of our water. And one of the things that I would encourage Livingston to do is to rise above putting chlorine in the water, because as I'm leaving to go to work some days, I see semi-trucks with trailers that are coming into our neighborhoods, and they're putting chlorine in our water. It's water that I don't even let my daughter take a bath in because it's causing dry skin and rashes, and it's unpleasant. And I don't think it's fair that we're paying for water that's water that we can't use. And I would ask you guys to, as we continue to add homes, I know we're getting a new apartment buildings and that we want to see the city expand, and I do too. I love this town. I love the people in it. But we need to find another way to treat our water. We need to treat our water better than putting chlorine in it. So the homes are beautiful. I really like the design, and the color scheme sounds nice. I would encourage you just to take an opportunity to think about the water that we're using, so how we're using it. Thank you.
No, thank you. That's a great comment. Definitely something we all worry about and have concerns about our water, and prioritizing addressing that definitely. And you're right. There's a lot of challenges coming up with different projects and our capacity to have water and quality water. And that's something we'll be discussing in the near future. But you're absolutely right. We are considering all of that, and we keep it in mind regularly. So, any other public comment? All right, so I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Bring it back to council for any additional questions or comments, clarifications, or motions.
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion.
Motion to approve? We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Kane. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
We have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Garcia. Monica, could we get a roll call?
Please cast your votes. Motion approved by a vote of 4-0.
Thank you, Monica. We have one more item, under discussion, potential action items. This discussion is on term limits of council members and mayor. Tom, you want to start this one off? Tom, you want to start this one? Then item number 19.
I hadn't been briefed on it, but I will.
Okay, so basically, I know that was something we brought up during the last council meeting in regards to what's the process, or how would it look like, or how would it look to set term limits for council members and the mayor. I know this is something that in previous years, even the public, speaking with the public and hearing them out, it's something that a lot of people have thought that would be a good idea to do. There's obviously pros and cons. There's, sometimes people think that it's better to, have change, continued change, and different people being, up here. Sometimes people get too comfortable and there's no change, and or they establish their own, rules or their own system, or it could affect the priority or the focus on bettering the community. So I know that's something that a lot of people approached me in regards to setting limits to those elected, so somebody's not here for 20 years or whatever the case may be, and give other people opportunity to get involved and get elected. I don't know, council, if you guys have any other comments about this.
I would just so the process then is, you could direct us to prepare a ballot initiative, because you need to add that to the code, to your municipal code. It's a code amendment, basically. So if that's the direction of that. Now, anyone could propose that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so can we give, Tom, what are your other cities? Do they have term limits?
None of mine do that
None of
represent it, no.
Is that something that we could find out what our neighboring towns have? I know Merced just did a two-term for 8 years.
Yeah, we could find out maybe what's kind of the consensus out there in regards to other jurisdictions. What are some of what other cities do? I know Merced has term limits, but it'd be nice to just find out.
Yeah, I could work with Vanessa and Monica, and we can come back with something on that, sure. And more details on the process.
Yeah, and more details on the process. Oh, I mean, if that's what the rest of the
That's- yeah.
council, I don't know what the rest, you guys.
Well, it'd just be Merced County, right? You're going to look into terms in Merced County, correct? Is that what we want to do? Or,
That's your call, right?
I would say maybe it's Stan, Merced, and Madera counties locally, yeah. But what are your thoughts, Garcia?
no, I think it's a great idea to bring that back for a ballot.
Maria, what are your thoughts? Yes, okay, so you got some kind of direction?
We have our direction.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and move on to council direction on future agenda items. I know, yes. Oh, yes, sorry, go ahead. Any public comment? Thanks, Julio.
Yeah, on that, are you asking the lawyer to look into this?
We want more specific information in regards to, yeah, so he just mentioned there'll be either Vanessa or Monica or himself kind of giving more information about the process is, and definitely.
I mean, because anyone else from the city can just look that up instead of having to pay so much for the lawyer to do it. It's just find the neighboring, and I don't think it should be just Merced County, just check out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking that up.
That'll be yeah.
I would be giving them more details on the legality if that's what they want to do, and then the staff would look up those things.
Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted to clear that, because that's something anyone can look up instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing I wanted to say is I don't think you should just look into Merced County, maybe look at a little bit further. Because there's not that many cities in Merced County that we can compare to.
No, yeah, I think we said like potentially Stan or Madera County. But no, in regards to him, I was referring to, yeah, legalities, but also I know there in his firm, there's also other people that could look into that or staff. So I think you guys know obviously that whatever's most cost effective, that's a ongoing direction, whatever is more cost effective of how to do things. So Vanessa obviously will, if she's able to do that and all that, so she would, or Monica. Sorry, Monica. Any other comments? All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to council direction on future agenda items. I know that something I would want to discuss, and I know we'll reach out to the Rec Commission and Jackie as well, but there's been a lot of requests in regards to skateboarding park. I know we've talked about it before with Vanessa. I think it's a real possibility. I think it's a real possibility now, and we should definitely work towards making that a reality. I think we have opportunities to go to do that. So I would like to have a discussion regards to that. Obviously include the Rec Commission and Jackie and her department, but I would like to see that work begin. I know we talked about several options of doing it, and so I would like to see move that forward as soon as possible. I know there's a new playground we had ordered. I know that's delays due to shipping. Hopefully that comes in sooner than later. I know there's a dog park that was discussed before. I know that's something also that's something that could be a reality, definitely. But I know the skateboard, I know a lot of people have asked, and we have been approached in regards to that for some time now. Any other items for discussion? Future items? All right, so at this time, we're going to go ahead and adjourn our meeting at 8:30 p.m.